Hello and welcome once again to Ignite Your Impact. My name is Jen Rhodes. I am finally seated next to my husband, Matt.
Man, I feel like a guest on this podcast
I know.
now. I haven't been on here in a while.
I know. It took us a second for me to begin the intro because I feel a sneeze coming on, but the show must go on.
Yeah.
I will continue to trek forward. Even if I can't find the words.
That's all right. I'm back today, so I can help fill in those words.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
So are we ready to jump in?
Yeah.
All right. So this podcast is, I think it's going to hit with people. I think people are feeling this because I put out a post and had a lot of good reaction off of it. And this isn't where the podcast came from, but the post was something like, I'm paraphrasing it now, autopilot is your worst enemy. Work on the weekends, take advantage of every moment that you can. It's a short little post, got a lot of traction on it. And just listening to that, it probably creates some, whether you read it or you heard me say it for the first time, it may create a little bit of reaction to you if you really listen to it. Autopilot is your worst enemy. Work the weekends, take advantage of every single moment. And I'm guessing every single one of you, when I said, or you read, autopilot is your worst enemy, like, yeah, I agree. It is. Autopilot is not good. And then even taking advantage of every moment, you're like, hell yeah, got to take advantage of every moment. But when I said work the weekends, you either said, hell yeah, that's where I get ahead, or nah, that's for relaxing. And it's all good either way, however you just reacted to that. The whole point is, that statement doesn't mean you need to be working 7 days a week on something. It's that you're so fucking passionate about whatever it is that you'll do whatever it takes to get there, even if that is working 7 days a week.
Yeah, we've talked about, and I know we've talked about this in a podcast before, and I want to hit on this again, but sorry, my microphone's very wobbly today. We've talked about how desire and seduction fuels that action. But what if the real problem isn't the lack of goals? What if it's actually just a desire deficit? And that's not even to say that you don't really want it, but there's no passion behind it.
And let me jump in because everyone listening right now, what she just said is so important because you have goals. It's not like you're sitting around on autopilot where you just aren't thinking about it. You've got goals. You want to lose weight. You want a better marriage. You want to make more money. You've got those goals. So think about that as we go through this.
Yeah. In 2025, the biggest epidemic isn't burnout. It's numbness.
Yeah.
I mean, God, 1931, Outwitting the Devil. There's a book about this. It's literally just trying to wake you up. People aren't exhausted from doing too much. They're drained from doing things that don't light them up. They're scrolling instead of feeling. They're consuming instead of creating. Ooh. They're comfortable, but they're completely disconnected. And I want to hit a few modern pain points, yeah? And why you're stuck in neutral. First one is the dopamine drain. I mean, obviously, like the minute I said you're scrolling instead of feeling, yeah? You're constantly hit with tiny, low-quality dopamine spikes. Notifications. Holy hell. That's the hardest one to detox myself from. If I see a notification, I'm like, what's that? What's that? Notifications, junk food, streaming, like quick wins that rob you of the deep, intoxicating desire needed to chase something big. Well, hey, Jen, real quick, what about this? No, I'm not worried about that. I want this. Your brain is too overstimulated to feel real, true, honest motivation. Number 2 is the commitment crisis. You've been conditioned to dabble. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get great at this, and I'm going to do this. But you never fully commit. You half-ass your fitness plan. I log, but I don't hit my macros. I get my steps, but there's no real effort in the gym. You half-ass your fitness plan. You half-ass your business idea. You half-ass your relationship. You keep your options open. But seduction and desire requires full immersion. You don't kind of sort of desire something. You're either all in or you're all out.
Yeah, I know with that number 2, you call it commitment. This has haunted me in a few areas in my life, and I didn't even know about it in the past. I mean, it still does, but like I said, you call it commitment, and that is true. But I almost call it identity. When I say that, I go back and think about what I identify as and how that is how it's played out. And a couple examples of what my identity is. What's your identity? And my identity was, I was a successful gym owner. And guess what? I was committed. That was my identity. And I was and am a successful gym owner. Another part of my identity, because we all have multiple different pieces of our identity. My another one is I'm a very successful manager in corporate America. And guess what? Very successful corporate manager in corporate America. But then another identity of mine is I'm working on these different businesses. And guess how that played out? I said that very differently. Let me repeat that. I was working on multiple businesses. And it played out that none of them were that successful outside of our gyms and my corporate job. Or I'm working on my relationships. And all my relationships were good. And I'm working on my fitness. My fitness was dog shit. See, I didn't have an identity in those areas. I was working on it, or I was going towards it. And when I committed in those 3 areas, it was lights out. And it changed from, I'm working in these businesses to I am building a real estate empire. And as soon as I changed that identity and focused and committed to that, all of a sudden things just got really good in that area. And the same thing for relationships. It changed to, I have a fucking unbelievable relationship that's passionate and hot, and friendship, all those things with my wife. And I'm a good husband. I'm a good father. And that changed a lot of my relationships with my family. And then the last one was, I'm always shredded. I'm 4 to 6 weeks out from being beach ready. So my commitment to those identities changed. It wasn't I am working on this. It is I am this, and I am committed to it. And that ties back in a little bit to that number 2, the commitment.
Yeah.
I wasn't, you said sort it in and keep my options open. I got rid of all the other options and said, here's my focus.
This is me.
Yes, this is me. That's why I say the
Period.
identity. Yep.
Not I'm thinking about, or I'm trying this. This is me.
Yeah, and if you heard any
Period.
of that, if you're saying those things, I'm working on my fitness, I'm working on my relationships, I'm working on these businesses, you've got to get that commitment, and the way you get that commitment is you turn it into your identity.
Yeah.
That is who you are.
It's who you are, and it's period.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't dabble in anything anymore.
No.
Which I appreciate so much, because your dabble turned into my new hobby. Which I'm like, okay. He's like, I bought another business. I'm like, oh, cool. Great. You have committed your identity around those 5 things.
Yep.
Those specific 5 things, and not in any specific order.
Right.
Right? And you've killed everything else off.
Yep.
Which I love. And if you're listening or watching on YouTube and wondering yourself how, I will get to it. Stay with me. But there's a third pain point that I want to talk about, and it is the quiet betrayal. And I'm guilty here. I'm 100% guilty, and you might be as well. You tell yourself you're fine. Ignored every instinct, every unpursued goal, every time you don't go after what you want is a slow betrayal of yourself. God, this isn't like me. I should really do this, but. And the pain isn't loud. It's the quiet kind that numbs you over time. This is subconsciously killing you. This is subconsciously tearing down any prior successes you may have to use as evidence of this new identity. This is the silent killer, guys. Every time you do this, it's just one little cut. And after a while, you just get numb to the cuts. And just expect it to maybe not work out. The fourth pain point is the false hustle. All right, I'm so guilty on these last two. I'm so guilty. The false hustle. I'm so busy. Look how busy I am. You're busy, but you're not effective. You're doing all the things to do all the things. You're constantly working towards something, but you're never feeling closer. I'm going to get this. I'm going to do this. I'm studying for this. You're checking boxes, but there's no deep hunger, no emotional charge behind it. It's like sex without passion. It is mechanical. It is predictable. It is forgettable.
Yeah, that's good. I would say that number 4, that false hustle, really ties into that number 2 of not being committed.
Yep.
They really tie together. And the difference between number 2 is you dabble. And number 4, you just keep yourself busy thinking that you're doing something, but you're actually never hitting any goals. Which then ties into that number 3 of the quiet betrayal, those small little things, they just tie together. And you see how these 4 pain points that Jen just went through, it's just a fucking circle. And that was the whole point of this podcast, those 4 things. And the whole point of that post. It's just a circle of life of that autopilot, like I posted on social media.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
It's just the easy, and it's the basis of Outwitting the Devil. If you have not read Outwitting the Devil, please go read it. Don't listen to the Audible. They use a weird voice. It's very strange. But I'm pretty sure it was written in 1931 to wake people up from this numb rhythm. It's how the devil gets you. It robs you of your passion. It robs you of your future. It robs you of your true purpose. But I want to shift to a new perspective. And I can't think of who wrote it. Outwitting the Devil. I'll think of it. It's who wrote Think and Grow Rich. What's his butt?
I don't know, because all I can think about now is that weird voice on the Audible. I didn't, yeah.
It's funny.
It is funny.
Now you want to check it out. All right. Okay, here's my new perspective. The art of obsession. Forget discipline. Fuck motivation. What if the real key is getting obsessed? Have you ever had when you're starting a new plan? I know I said this to you when I was in my dragger downer phase. Aren't you getting a little obsessed with this?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't want you to get obsessed in a toxic way. And I am now very self-aware and can apologize for my past failures as a wife and a friend. But I need you to get obsessed in the way that makes you lose track of time. My God, I was working on that for 6 hours. Last Friday, when I was pumping out all that content for my 30-day detox, I was like, holy shit, I'm done. 30 days worth of stuff. You're like, that was awesome. Like, get obsessed. Obsessed in the way that it makes sacrifices feel effortless. It turns the journey into a full body experience. Like, you can feel the blood pumping through your veins. This is what Matt was talking about when he says he works weekends. Now, do we work 8 hours on the weekends? No. But we make sure that there's a 2 to 4 hour chunk on something that lights us the hell up so that we can keep going with more speed. I want you to think about the last time you were completely swept up in something. A project. A person. You do that all the time with me. It's okay. I'm the object of your obsession.
You're my object and person.
Yeah. Uh-huh. A project, a person, a mission. That's the energy you need to harness. This isn't about staying on track. It's about becoming magnetized by the outcome. You have to become so obsessed with this mission and purpose that when you hit the floor every morning, I want the devil to be like, shit, she's up. But I want you to listen closely now. This is how you create that commitment or that identity that we mentioned. I need you to stop chasing goals you are supposed to want. Find the thing that makes your gut tighten. Scratch that. Find the thing that makes the hair on your arms stand up. I will tell you, I get this feeling at least once a day when I'm talking to clients and they're sharing their wins. Jen, I did this. I never thought I'd be able to do that. Look what I just did. That makes my hair, ooh, you hear the shake in my voice? Find that mission. Stop chasing things you're supposed to want. I'm supposed to want a successful business. I get that. My mission, my success are those wins. That's how I become successful, and the money just follows. I want you to build anticipation. Oh, I'm getting a little misty. Sorry. I love talking about that shit because you can hear my passion. Now, I want you to build anticipation. Seduction isn't instant. It's a buildup. It makes that progress feel addictive, right? Like once I get those quick wins from clients, I just start digging. I want more. God, it feels so good. That's the kind of dopamine I'm after. And I need you to cut the numbing agents. If something makes you feel less alive, question why it's still in your life. I have a client that's doing this right now, and she says, Jen, I'm going to need you for this. I'm like, I'm here for you 24/7. As you are weeding your garden. Those weeds, man, they like to sneak up on you. It's okay. I know how to sniff out a weed. Right? Is it draining you? Why is it still present in your life? Rip it the fuck out. Cut the numbing agents.
I love those steps. And to close it out, can I give them a final gut check?
Yeah.
Your final gut check. Are you living a life that turns you on? That makes you want to get out of bed? That makes you feel something? And if you're not, you do not need no more discipline. You need to wake the hell up and start wanting again. And that is the secret.
I love it. Let's wrap this up. Guys, I hope you found so much value in today. I hope you're as happy that Matt's back as I am. Give him that $1 million smiley. All right, guys, we will talk to you next time.